Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah, and if you're wondering what my t-shirt says, it says "Disabled looks like me," and it was made by the illustrator Mimi Butlin, who is Can't Go Out, I'm Sick on Instagram, and she gifted this to me as part of their campaign with Leonard Cheshire, who are a disability charity, and I believe the t-shirt is available until the 5th of April, so there's still time if you would like to get one of these bad boys. So on this channel I often talk about work and productivity and organization, and I thought now would be a good time to do a little advice Q&A about working from home. I have been working for myself and working from home for the last 6 years, and I've worked from home in various different capacities. So the first place that I moved into in London was a warehouse with like 10 other people living there. We each had our own bedrooms, but then there was like massive communal living space. But then there was also like a communal office desk space, but that was all open plan anyway. And then I lived in a small 3-bedroom flat with other flatmates, and I didn't have a desk in my room and worked mostly from the kitchen table. And then after that I bought the place that I currently live in, which is a 2-bedroom flat, and the second bedroom is my dedicated office slash filming room, which is what this corner of the flat is in. So I've had a lot of experience over the last 6 years of working from home in many different environments. And because a lot of people are now working from home who haven't been before, who maybe aren't as used to it, I thought I would impart some wisdom, some of the things that I have learned, and I asked for your questions that you may have on Instagram. And there were a lot of questions, and I am not going to be able to get through all of them in this video. I've just selected a few that I think cover some key themes that were coming out. But do let me know if you would like more content around this, more help and advice around this. Obviously, I'm coming from the freelancer perspective though, so I work for myself rather than working from home when you're part of a team and you have a manager and everyone is working remotely. That's my partner Dan's experience currently. He normally goes into the office for work, and now he's working from home, as are the rest of his colleagues. We've got a bit of a mixed experience in this household, but hopefully some of the things that I've learned will apply even if you work for an employer. So let's dive in. One of the first questions or themes that came up a lot that I just loved was about food. So how do I stop myself eating the entire fridge every time I get up for a wee? Great question. So there was that question, and there was also just lots of other questions about how to not eat all of the food in the house, how to not be constantly snacking. And I'm not gonna lie, I am not perfect. I have been known to devour an entire sharing packet of Sensations and dipping it in hummus as an afternoon snack and then having no appetite for dinner. So nobody's perfect, but there are many different approaches that you can take to this. One is meal planning. So you know what you're having for the different meals of the day, and you make sure that you eat enough so that you are full and you don't feel like you need to eat. However, we all know that we often snack out of boredom, not hunger. So it really depends on what kind of person you are. Maybe you can be the kind of person who says, all right, if I get this work done, then I can enjoy that snack that I have in the cupboard. And then also it just depends on what you buy. So if we have no Pringles in the house, I will not eat Pringles. However, if I went out and bought Pringles, I am going to eat the Pringles. And I am not responsible for the time of day that I eat them or how much I eat in one sitting. But I was responsible for buying them in the first place. So food can be a tricky one, but it always starts with what you buy and then planning your meals or planning what time you're going to eat. And maybe I need advice on this too. I need advice on posture when working, because holy fuck. How to stop family/flatmates who have nothing to do from bothering you all day. This is a great question, and I think because we are living in very unusual, unprecedented times right now, and everyone in the household being inside together all of the time at the same time is a new thing. It is a really great time to actually sit and have a conversation about boundaries, about how you're going to navigate or living and working in the space together. It is not a time for passive aggressiveness. It is not a time for implying things and hoping that they pick up on what you're saying and decipher all of your messages. It is the time for having a direct conversation about it. So say to your family, say to your flatmates, hey, can we have a discussion this evening about how we're going to navigate or living and working in the same space together? So rather than like bringing it up, being like, I want to discuss this right now, kind of be like, hey, I want to discuss this. Are you free tonight at this time? And we can chat about it. And so then everyone like is on the same page and isn't caught off guard by that conversation. But I really do think this is something that you need to be like really direct about and just say, hey, I have to do XYZ for work. Either you need peace and quiet, you need your own space, you need to be not distracted. Obviously, depending on the size of the house or flat that you live in, it will be different. Good luck. Do you find you're productive the same amount every day? Absolutely not. It varies day to day. I often find that when I've had a really slow, unproductive day, the day after is really good, but it's only really good if I allow myself to kind of acknowledge it and not beat myself up about the previous day. It's just about like waking up with like fresh eyes on a problem or just, you know, a good night's sleep behind you. But yeah, don't feel the pressure to have the same level of motivation every day. It fluctuates. Working from home is a whole different beast. There is a daybed right here, right there. I could just go and have a nap. I really want to have a nap right now, but I have to film these videos because my editor is expecting the footage today. My to-do list isn't long, and yet I feel as though I have to sit at my desk during the working day. Oh boy, do I feel you on this. I actually wrote a blog post like 2 or 3 years ago or something it was. It was after my first book came out and I was having like post-project blues. I didn't really have a lot to do. I was feeling very unmotivated, and yet I literally sat at my desk at the time, which was my kitchen table, twiddling my thumbs 9 till 5. Like I literally did not have the amount of work to do that would fill that time, and yet I felt this immense pressure to just sit at a desk and like show up to work. Obviously, this will differ depending on if you have to be online for your boss or your colleagues to be able to see that you're working. But if your day is really flexible, then just allow yourself to not have a lot to do, and that's okay. Obviously, I want the things that I say in this video to apply to working from home in general, but I think we all need to acknowledge that we're all working from home in very different circumstances. So there is an extra level of awareness that we need to have about how things are different, and so work is going to be different, and the time that you work and like what you do and how busy you're going to be is going to vary from person to person, but it's also going to vary from like what you were like before, and just kind of being like, this is okay, we're all doing the best that we can and taking it every day at a time. Okay, so there were a few questions that were about this. How do you create a workspace when you don't have a desk? Great question. So do you have a table? A table anywhere in the house, in your kitchen, in your living room space, like wherever you have a surface that can kind of become a desk. Use that as your workspace. Set yourself up. Depending on how much equipment you need to do your job, I would recommend, if possible, setting it up and putting it away every evening. So then that space can then become chill, life, leisure, family time. So maybe there's going to be a new box or a new corner of the house that basically is where you put your laptop, where you put your keyboard and your mouse, where you put your laptop tray so that you're not like cranking your neck or anything. And at the end of the day, you just like pop everything in there, and then in the morning you grab it all out of there and like place it down, along with like pens and notebooks or whatever it is you use. Obviously, if you have like a bigger, heftier setup and it's going to be complicated to put it down and put it back up again every day, then this might not be the solution for you, but I feel like most people will be working from laptops and notepads. So that might be something to look into, just to make sure that your work stuff isn't then cluttering your life space in the evenings and on weekends. But my main advice would be to not work from your bed. Please, please, please try to not work from your bed. And then, of course, there were lots of questions about procrastination, getting distracted, specifically about your phone. There was a specific question that was about Twitter and Instagram, because if that's part of your job, using those platforms, how do you then not just get sucked into like a spiral of scrolling? I feel you. Feel you. So again, this will entirely depend on your relationship with your phone and work and how much you need your phone. So if you don't really need your phone for work, then I would recommend out of sight, out of mind, which might seem a bit extreme to some of you, but when I was writing the hormone diaries, I literally put my phone on Do Not Disturb and put it like behind me, like it wasn't in my eye line, like I couldn't see it, and that really helped. That might just be something that you do if you know you've got like 2 hours where you have to focus on this specific task. So only for those 2 hours do you just kind of like phone out of sight, out of mind, put it on Do Not Disturb so you don't like hear it vibrating in a drawer somewhere. So that's one thing that you could do. In terms of when I use Twitter and Instagram for something work related and then I find myself in a scroll, or I'll go to Instagram for something work related and then I'll immediately start seeing things and start scrolling, and then I'm in that spiral and then I forget what I went to the app in the first place to do. That happens to me all of the time. As soon as I clock that that's what I've done, because I could be like in that spiral for a good 5 to 10 minutes before I've even clocked what has happened, that it's like sucked me in. As soon as that happens, I exit the app and I try and remember what it was that I was meant to be doing. And then once I figured that out, I focus, I hyper focus on that task. And so then I do it and I get out as fast as possible. It doesn't always work, but for me, it's about clocking it. And the moment that I clock I'm in a spiral, I exit it, which takes a lot of self-discipline, and I'm not always perfect at it. But for me, that works. And also self-compassion when it comes to the fact that you went down that spiral and the fact that you did get distracted by your phone, because these apps are literally designed to do that. It's people's jobs to figure out human psychology and design an app that will make you have that reaction to it. So it's not our fault that happens, because the apps are designed to manipulate us in that way. And the best that we can do is, when we realize that that's happened, go, oh, no, right, I'm out. Do the thing that you need to do and carry on with work. One thing that I've seen a lot of people do on their phones, I don't know how you do this on Android, but on the iPhone, you can go to accessibility and you can make your entire phone black and white. And this supposedly is meant to help, because all of the colors in apps and colors of notifications and things is meant to kind of be trigger happy on our brains of like wanting to use it, whereas if everything is in black and white, it's less desirable for us to use. So that might be a technique that you use. Other things in general for procrastination is to take regular breaks and use those breaks as dedicated procrastination time, basically. And again, just remember that procrastination is completely natural, and it's just about clocking it when it happens, knowing what your triggers are, knowing what you tend to do when you want to procrastinate, and then putting things in place that will reduce that and will limit it. So again, that might be having your phone somewhere else. It might be doing that little tree growing app thing on your phone where you grow a tree for as long as you're not using your phone. You might need to install some stuff on your computer that blocks certain websites for a certain amount of time when you're working. You might want to use the Pomodoro method, which is like 25 minutes of working and then a break, and then 25 minutes and a break, and setting timers for yourself. A lot of people find that really useful. It really is a unique thing from person to person. So I can't tell you what will work for you as an individual, but have a look out there and just get to know yourself and your working habits. And then you can hopefully try and be as effective as possible. So I got a question that said, how to share office space with partner and not get distracted or compare productivity. Dan, do you have any advice? Get in here. Do you have any advice? How will we work? We're working like next to each other in the office most days.
The irony with this is you're actually distracting me from working. But
right now, by getting him in to do this. Yeah, but this is a one-off. Normally, I think we don't really talk to each other.
Yeah, headphones and don't paying attention to one another.
Yeah, pretty much. We're just kind of like in our zones. Great insight.
Headphones don't talk to each other.
Yeah. Do we compare productivity though? I don't really feel like we do.
I don't think we do because
our jobs are so different.
Yeah, and also I don't care. Like it doesn't.
Sometimes I do worry. Like I'll be working on my phone. I'll be doing something on my phone that is necessary to be here, and sometimes I worry that you think I'm procrastinating.
I don't.
But yeah, exactly. But you're not paying attention to me, so it's fine. Okay, thanks, Dan.
Is that all you wanted from me?
Yeah. You can go back to work now. How to avoid post-lunch slump. This is unavoidable. We all get it. So there are a few solutions to it. One, just persevere, work through it. It will be horrible. It will be a slog. You will be getting the same amount of work done in about an hour that in the morning you were probably getting done in 5 minutes. It will be horrible. It's not a great use of your time though, if you do decide to just try and get through it. Other things that you can do. Do you have a more flexible job? Do you have a more flexible role? Especially during these times when expectations are a lot lower and you just might have more flexibility in general. I know for some people you have less flexibility than you did in this time. It's going to be different for everyone, how this is all affecting everyone. But if you know you're going to have a post-lunch slump, do something else in the hour or two after lunch and then work later. That might be a solution for you. Or when you're planning your day and all of the different tasks that you need to get done, put some easy stuff after lunch. I personally find that I get my best work done in the morning that's like creative stuff or like big projects. So I do all of my filming in the morning, and then after lunch I'm useless. So I'll maybe try and answer a few easy emails. I don't know what else I might do. And then I find that the kind of like 4 till 6 p.m. I kind of get another little spike. And I think it's because I'm just like, the end of the day isn't here. Gotta do tasks. So yeah, you can't avoid the post-lunch slump. Just try and navigate your way around it with the different types of work that you're going to be doing. This was an interesting question. Literally asking for a friend because I'm unemployed, but how to cope with the lack of colleagues and socializing. Yes. So this is not my experience because my normal is a lack of colleagues and socializing, although I tend to do that in the evenings, which I now can't. But one thing that I've seen a lot of people doing online is keeping with office traditions and social occasions that you would have, but doing it all on video call. So that might be Friday afternoon, you used to go to the pub and have drinks. So maybe now, Friday, once you've all finished working, you all got on a call together and you all have your drink and you have your wine club and you have your pub time, but all at home on video together. I know that Dan and his colleagues would have pizza Wednesdays. Every lunchtime on a Wednesday, they would go and get pizza. Maybe you have similar traditions to that and you can keep them, but doing it on video calls. So there are ways around it. I think it's really important, just because you are not physically in the same space as your colleagues anymore, still check in with them, still have chats. Maybe you and your colleagues have a joint WhatsApp group and you can make sure to keep that alive and continue that. But I think just the text-based stuff isn't really going to be enough in this time, considering how isolated we all really should be right now. So video calls if you can. I thought this was an interesting question. Do you plan what you're doing in the day? If so, when? So I can tell you when I don't plan what I'm doing in a day, and that is the morning of that day. So when I wake up in the morning, I know what that day looks like. So at the absolute latest, I'm planning it the day before. But more often than not, I know what my entire week is going to look like beforehand. Less so these days. I'm a lot more flexible and just kind of making it up as I go along more than usual. But usually I would know like what my week is going to look like, what tasks I have to do. I would highly advise against planning what you're going to be doing for the day the morning of the day, because you're using your best like brain energy power just to plan. Whereas like, I don't know if maybe you're different, but for me, I like to wake up and get straight to work. That's how I feel like I'm most effective. If I like woke up and was like, oh, what should I do today? I'm going to waste like so much time planning. How do you keep a schedule? So there's lots of different ways to do this. I recommend using technology to help keep your schedule. So I use Google Calendar, and often I'll calendar block, not all of the time. Depends how busy I am and how structured my day is going to be. I'll leave a link in the description to Amy Landino, who makes great videos about calendar blocking if you're interested in that. I use Todoist as my to-do list app, and that is like separated by day and separated by priority and various projects, so you can see everything that you need to do for the next week or just the next day. So using Todoist and using Google Calendar is how I stick to a kind of routine. So I mostly use those two apps to help me plan my schedule. I think it's also worth noting to stick as much as possible to your previous routine, but if you're not commuting anymore, maybe you get like an extra 30-40 minute lie-in, which if you can take it, just take it. Like, have something good right now. Shower, get dressed. You can wear comfy clothes, but still like don't wear your pajamas. If doing your hair and makeup is going to help you feel a bit more normal, then do that. I literally put makeup on for filming, but every other day this week I've not been wearing makeup, but that's because that is part of my routine as well. How to stop watching working from home videos and actually work. I'm gonna do you a favor and end the video here. So, thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and let me know in the comments how you're doing. Are you working from home? Is there anything that you've learned from working from home? Any things that have surprised you? Make sure to subscribe because I'm making new videos every week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! What?